Good afternoon. My name is Alan Canacasco. I am a public ally serving with SOC. Here is the information for the interpretation line. All of our previous programs are recorded in English and in Spanish, which you can find on Facebook and on YouTube. Today's team is made up of Andrea in comments and Gabe in production. As you can see, I don't have a mask on because I'm working from home. The rest of our team is doing the same, but we're still here for you guys. You can call us 414-672-8090 or email soc@socmilwaukee.org. All of our information is also in the comments. Please give us your opinions, your comments in the comment section. Also, the link for the survey is in the comments. We also want your suggestions and your opinions, your questions. You can put all of that in the comment section as well. We want to remind you that not all of the points of view and opinions that are presented here on this platform are reflective of those of SOC. So, after our reminders, let's see who we have on for the rest of the week. Tomorrow, Thursday, Erica Villafuerte. She works with CORE El Centro, which is she is a member of the board. And then Friday, we're going to have Marta Collins from Feeding America. All right. Let's see if we have any comments. It looks like we lost Alan's video. Oh, sorry. Technical problems going on here. So it doesn't look like there's any comments yet. So let's go to the primary interview with Pedro Hernandez. Hello, Pedro. How are you? Hey, I'm good. Thank you for the invitation again to be able to talk again about our services at the organization. Perfect. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, like I commented earlier, we're going to start focusing a little more about the services that you offer outside of the services that are, protection, housing, that kind of thing. So we're going to talk a little bit more about evictions. So if you can talk a little bit more about that and the different services that you offer, family law, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, well, other than the services that we provide for renters or, different problems that you can come up while you're renting, an apartment or even a house. We're also talking about other services that are under merchandise rights or people with low end resources, or maybe if you can't afford to hire a lawyer on your own. So those different areas that we will represent people, and we have clients from all walks of life. So for example, unemployment, cases for unemployment. If you were denied unemployment and you think that that was unjust, we can evaluate your case to see if there are any defenses or what options you have to be able to maybe recuperate those benefits. Also, we have an area that is expanding for consumer rights, protection for those that take out loans, or if you have debts that are affecting your credit report. So if you have some kind of debt that is affecting your credit, or a collection through the mail, or different companies, maybe you owe something. So the people that are collecting, they don't necessarily have a correct record, or maybe they have some misinformation, and they're doing everything that they can to collect that money. Or maybe you didn't actually even take out that loan. So those are some of the things that we can do. So some things that we can do are, to inform people, let them know, like every case, just like eviction cases, our first thing is to try and prevent it. If something comes in the mail, somebody's trying to collect a debt, please open up the letters, read them. Maybe you forgot that you had taken out a loan for a used car, or maybe they're trying to charge you for something else. Those are the types of cases that we can evaluate. Also, transactions from buying a used car, different things like that. Protection rights for consumers that sometimes can happen if you try to take out a loan, or if you try to fix your credit. And then during that process, instead of fixing your credit or bettering your credit, improving your credit, they make it worse. Other than that, another area that we do work on is preparing letters that give people permission. So talking about financial decisions, testaments, if you're at a point where, and this has been suggested, this has come up, we've seen it before because of the pandemic, but these cases have come up more during the pandemic because you have to be conscious of knowing that maybe we're not going to be able to be as prepared as we wanted, if something happens and we pass away, or for our loved ones if they pass away. So we can help to create or prepare the documents, a living will. If somebody comes to be where we can't make our own decisions, then we have selected a person that can make those decisions for us. And that's why we have living wills. So you can talk about, what you would like to leave behind, or, everything that you've worked for our loved ones. Let me ask real quick about that. My question is more like citizenship. If you're not a citizen of the country, do you still have that right, or can you make a living will, power of attorney? Do you still have those rights in case you would, be in an accident or pass away, so that somebody can make decisions for you? Can you still do that process even if you're not a citizen? Yes. That's a great question. We haven't found ourselves in that problem yet, but there hasn't really been questions about that, but if anybody has a question, give us a call. We can look into it. It's a case by case thing. We can look at what's happening, and then we can make sure, see what we can do, because there are people, it depends on the state. Maybe you have property here, you have property in Mexico. Typically, if somebody qualifies for our services, they're not going to have a lot of belongings. But if you do, we can always refer you out to somebody else that we've worked with. So there are different resources if we can't represent you, but we always try to be a channel where people can come through, for lawyers that are trustworthy, so that we can help people. All of our organizations are nonprofits, so they can provide free services, legal services, free or low cost. So, or some kind of evaluation that are free. We try to channel people so that they can have quality representation. And honestly, just so that it's not so expensive. But that's a really good question. And I'm not exactly prepared to respond, but I will investigate it. And then I can answer you better in case somebody like that is looking for services. Of course. Thank you, Pedro. So while we're waiting on that, let's say if somebody is in a loan that has a really high interest rate, or maybe if they're, I don't know, there's some aggressive ways that people are trying to collect money. What kind of help do you guys give to those people? You know, just call and say this is what's happening and how can you help? Or pretty much in those cases, if you take out a loan, what we do is we go through the whole process because, why did you take the loan? What happened when you asked for the money? How did you ask for the money? Who did you ask for it from? Who has the loan right now? Because there are different organizations that buy loans that are, behind or in debt. If somebody can't collect the original loan, they can send it off to somebody else. So those are all questions that we have to ask. What kind of actions are being taken to collect the debt currently? How are they trying to collect it? What kind of payments has the person made? To be able to see if there really has been some kind of deception during the process. Has there been any fraud or any kind of protection that we can offer? We have to look at the whole process to see, if there's been an error made or an infraction of a law that we know here at a state level or at a federal level. Very good. Some of the other services that you offer are family law, and I know that it's kind of unique, because you guys work specifically. We're always looking at like what's in the kid's best interest, right? So can you tell us more about that? So I work in the civil division, and that's representing the kids or the minors' best interest in family cases, juvenile cases. Especially delinquency, people that are underage. But that court is the juvenile court. We usually don't do too many of those, but they are assigned by the court. If you have questions about that, you're going to have to have a lawyer that's not us, because we have a relationship with the county court to be able to represent those cases. So it's really different each individual case. It's something that comes through the state, through the government. to be able to represent somebody. So those are, custody cases or divorce cases. Okay, thank you so much for clarifying that. Okay, well, now that we know a little bit more about custody, and that's something that we're going to have to keep talking about. So now let's remind people about the CDC moratorium, and if you can explain that a little more. Yes, it was extended. It was expanded. The order basically from the federal agency of the CDC, that the one that's monitoring the situation of the pandemic. So this protection doesn't only protect, like we've talked about before, cases of, if you haven't been able to pay your rent. So if you haven't been able to pay your rent because you've lost your income or you've had less hours at work, basically there's been a loss of income. Anything that is because of COVID, if you've lost hours, if you were laid off, or if you lost your job completely because there isn't a business anymore because of COVID. So protection is for all of you guys. This does not mean that you cannot be evicted for some other kind of a violation of your contract. You also can't be you can't be in criminal activities. So it's not an automatic prevention. It's an extension that goes up to the beginning of June. And this was, I think, the third extension. So you have to fill out a document, a declaration, where you declare that you have gone through all of the different options to be protected. And then you have to turn in that declaration to the owner, pretty much, the person that you pay rent to, and have a copy for you and for the court. So that way you have evidence. Yes, I do qualify, and I have tried, and I've showed this to the owner of the apartment or the place where I live, and I am protected. If you don't turn in that kind of a document, we cannot be sure that you will be protected. So that's what I want people to understand. You should be protected, obviously. And the court is also doing a great job of reminding people if they come into court to let them know, hey, have you thought about making a declaration? Do you qualify? And it gives them the opportunity to fill everything out. But it's better, like we've said, to prevent it, to get a surprise of trying to be evicted. So if you do qualify, of course. So again, it's in the extension. It goes through June 30th. If you think you might qualify or if you have any questions, it doesn't matter the reason that you're being evicted. Come talk to us, please. And other organizations that offer these services to be able to evaluate your case and to see what is the best defense that you can have and what are your options, your practical and legal options that you have to be able to protect yourself and protect your loved ones that live with you. Okay, thank you very much. Now, a question I just thought about right now. We haven't talked about it before, but the question is this also extended for mortgages? I don't know if that's also something that is being done, or is that not? The extension for mortgage payments is separate. That's what I understand, because that did exist before this extension. So it's specifically for a mortgage. If you have a mortgage that is protected or is a mortgage that has been financed partly or completely by the government, like an FHA loan or a VA loan. If you took a loan out of, the VA, if you're a veteran, or if you've been able to qualify, low income, your first house. If you have any questions about what kind of loan you have, we can help you with that too as well, to figure that out. But that protection existed before the moratorium for renters. And I also believe that ends June 30th. All right, thank you very much. So evaluation about, these different processes, that's all something that you guys help with? Yes. Whether it's a loan, whether it's a mortgage or renters, we can help. And of course, especially if you live on the south side of Milwaukee, because we have our lawyers here, myself, Roberto, and we specialize in the neighborhoods around the south side of Milwaukee. Perfect. Okay, anything else that you wanted to comment, share about the services that you guys offer? Or, has there been an uptick? Or, unfortunately, I know that if things are happening right now. Anything else that you would like to share with us? Just to remind people that you should always be aware of what's happening around you. Read everything that comes to you about your situation. If you have a legal problem or anything like that, and as long as it's not immigration or a felony, you can call us. If you're not sure, this is my problem. I'm not sure if it's a criminal thing, or I'm not sure if I qualify for the services. It's better to apply and find out, because then we could refer you. Because if you don't apply, you just wait. And that's the worst thing that you can do. Because the more that you wait, it limits the options that you have. Correct. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Pedro, for being with us. We'll see you next month with more information. And I hope you stay well. Thank you. Take care. Thank you, Zach. So that was Pedro Hernandez from Legal Aid Society. Any questions that you have, cases that you might have? We'll put information in the comments about how to communicate with them, how to get in touch with them. I didn't see any questions in the comments, but let's say hi to everybody that said hi to us. Starting with Mariah Franco. Hello, hello. Thank you for being here, for tuning in. Trine Zapata, Maria de Jesus. Thank you for tuning in, Maria. I know you're always here with us. Dulce Martinez, thanks so much for tuning in as well. So now let's keep going. The next is an update for COVID. And this was an interview that was done. Scientists and pharmacists all over the world are developing COVID-19 vaccines. Vaccines prepare your immune system to fight infections. If you're exposed, this will remind your system to fight it off. Vaccines can help prevent diseases or help them to not be so bad. They are studied thoroughly before being approved. So in Australia, they have certain protocols to follow and approve your vaccines. You also should be sure to listen to your medical provider. It's probable that that Australia will have the COVID vaccine before the end of 2021. Before then, keep your 1.5 meters of distance. If you feel sick, stay home and do your COVID-19 test, even when there are vaccines available. All right. Well, that was our COVID update. And unfortunately, we are still in the pandemic and we have to keep taking care of each other and following all of the rules, keeping your 6 feet of difference, wearing our masks, and then, of course, getting the vaccine if you can. We have put information about where and how to register for vaccines here in Milwaukee. So please use those resources. All right. Now, I am going to share some services about the Milwaukee Public Libraries. Give me just 1 second here. So these are services that the libraries from Milwaukee Public Libraries offer for people that are learning English. So here is an event where they read in English. This is done Mondays, second Monday of the month. So next one will be May 10th from 4 until 5. And there are also English conversations every week. And then the next one will be the 20th. That's a Tuesday from 4 until 5 in the afternoon. And those resources can be used. They're free. They're through the library, through the Milwaukee Public Library. And we're going to provide the link in the comments. So if you have any questions about these resources, just let us know or follow the link, send us an email, call us direct. You can talk with us on Facebook. So I think we are coming up on the end of the program. Let's do some final reminders. Tomorrow, Erica Villafuerte from Core El Centro. And then Friday, Marta Collins with Feeding America. So, finishing up the show, thank you all for tuning in and for your comments here in the chat. And then we will see you next Wednesday. I'm going to leave you guys with information about the survey. Thanks so much. Has this forum been informative for you? What part of the forum can we make better or change? Please let us know by responding to a quick survey that can be found in the comment section. That way we can keep the program going for residents. Thank you for tuning in.